Okay, so we're going to start this evening standing up. So as always, we've got quite a stretchy class this evening with a little bit of everything for the whole body. But if you need to rest, then rest. And if you need to modify, then modify. But to start off with, we're just going to do some fascia circles. So we work through every single major joint in the body just to get everything moving. So starting with the left leg, and you can always hold on to a side or a wall or whatever's near to you if you're feeling unbalanced. Just circle through the ankle 3 times one way and then 3 times the other way. Hey, Amber. And then once you've done 3 with the ankle, go into the knee. So doing 3 circles one way and then taking that in the other direction. Excellent. And then we move into the hip. So exactly the same thing. 3 circles to the back and then 3 circles to the front. Then we'll move to the other leg. So place the left leg down and starting with the right ankle, start circling one way 3 times and then take it in the other direction 3 times. And then once you've done the ankle, move into the knee. And then once you've done 3 times, take it the other direction. And then into the hip, taking it to the back 3 times. And then bringing it forward 3 times. Excellent. Putting both feet down and take the feet wider than hip width. Just start circling into the hips, really bringing them forwards and taking them back. And then take those hips in the other direction. Much, much bigger joints here, so we're doing a couple more revolutions. And then bringing the hips to stillness, moving into the ribs, really trying to center that movement into the ribs, taking the rib cage forward, to the side, to the back, to the side. Doesn't matter how fast or slow you go in this movement. And then take it in the other direction. Really trying to get that middle moving. And then a few circles of the shoulders up towards the ears and back down the back. And then take them forwards. Squeezing the shoulders and then rolling them forwards. And then moving into the wrists. 3 circles in the wrist with an open hand. And then close the fist and keep those circles going for another 3 with a closed fist. And then open the hand, take them in the other direction for 3. And then in a fist again for 3. Good. And then bring the elbows up and circle into the elbows. And then take those circles the other direction. And then make those circles really big, taking them into the shoulders. And any stiffness in the shoulders, you can always do backstroke here. Really getting into all those crunchy bits. And then bring those hands forwards. And again, if that's too tight in your shoulders, you can always do front crawl. And then letting the arms come down to rest by your side. Take the left ear to the left shoulder. And then just relax the right shoulder down. Just take a couple of breaths here. And then take the chin down towards the shoulder and scrape the chin all the way around the collarbones until you get to the other side. And then take the right ear to the right shoulder. And then relax the left shoulder down. Couple of breaths, just feeling the stretch at the side. Then take that chin back down towards the shoulder. Roll the head around the front, scraping that chin around the collarbones. And then when you get to the other side, take the left ear towards the left shoulder again. Really relaxing that right shoulder down. Excellent. One more in each direction. So take the chin down, scrape it around those collarbones. Stretch on the other side, ear to shoulder. And then take the chin back towards the shoulder, scrape it around those collarbones around the front till you get to the other side, and then take the ear back to the shoulder again. Come up to center, keeping the chin parallel to the floor. This time turn and look over the left shoulder, trying to keep the shoulders still, just moving the head. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. Inhale to center, exhale, left. Inhale to center, exhale, right. Come back to center, drop the chin down onto the chest, and then take the fingers, interlace the fingers and put them on the back of your skull, and then press your skull up into your hands. So you should feel a nice stretch down the back of the neck. Couple of breaths here. Excellent. And then release the hands, lift the head, bring the hands down by the sides. Just going to do some Tai Chi breath this evening. So taking the feet hips width or a little wider and a soft bend in the knees. So a bit like a horse stance, like you're riding a horse. Hands out in front of you. As we inhale, we're going to expand the hands and expand the chest. And as we exhale, we're then going to bring the hands back towards one another again. So inhaling to expand. Exhale, squeeze it back. Inhale to expand. Exhale, squeeze it back. Inhale, expand. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more in time with your own breath. Inhaling to really expand and open the chest. And then exhale as you bring the hands back together again. Keeping the core engaged. Keeping the legs soft. Just noticing the breath coming in and out of the body. And then once you're done, let the legs come back to normal and your arms down by your sides. I'm going to go sideways to show you this one. But essentially you're going to have 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. As we inhale, the breath coming towards us, and we're taking the weight in the back leg. As we exhale, we're taking the weight in the front leg and we're pushing the air away. So we inhale it towards us, weight in the back leg. Exhale as we push it forwards and weight in the front leg. So inhale the breath towards you, exhale it away. Good. Inhale it back, exhale it away. Inhale it back, exhale it away. 3 more with your own breath. Then inhale, coming back into the back leg and switch legs. So the other leg's behind. And then exhale as you take the weight into the new front leg. Inhale the breath back. Exhale, push it away. Inhale it back. Exhale, push it away. 3 more with your own breath. Good. And then once you're done, just come back so that you're facing towards the screen. Lots of stuff today on all the joints and the spine. So we're just going to start by moving the spine in all its possible directions. So starting, inhale the arms up above you, hold the hands together and make a little Charlie's Angel gun. So thumbs crossed, first fingers are pointing towards the ceiling and the rest of the fingers are curled over. Really squeeze the elbows towards one another. Try and relax the shoulders down the back and keep the arms as straight as you can. Making sure your feet are at least hip width distance or maybe a bit wider if that feels more stable. And really feel your weight in your feet. So find that sweet spot where your weight is perfectly balanced between the balls of the toes and the heel. Inhale to really lift up out of the waist and then slowly go over towards the left, trying to keep the body as straight as possible, i.e. like you're squidged between two panes of glass and we're just leaning over to one side. Keeping the shoulder and the armpit open towards the ceiling, really stretching out through those fingers so the arms are long. One more inhale here. Then exhale, pull the tummy in, come all the way back up to center. Maybe bring the hands down by the sides, just give those shoulders a little roll. And then inhale the arms back up. Really stretching out through that first finger, keeping the arms nice and long, shoulders relaxed. Inhale up out of the waist, and then slowly going over towards the right. Again, as if you were squidged between two panes of glass. Only moving in a lateral way to the side. Really keeping that armpit open towards the ceiling. Keep the core pulled in, keep the belly strong. Engage the leg muscles so everything is getting involved in the movement. Nice big inhale. On an exhale, pull the core in and come all the way back up to center. Excellent, and exhale, hands down. Couple of rolls in the shoulders. And then we're just going to do a little bit of twisting. Just literally flinging the arms around. Not too fast, so we're still doing the movement with control, but just twisting to the left, twisting to the right. Beautiful. Just gently warming the body up. Okay, and then when you've twisted both sides equally, come back to center. This time we're going to go over to a forward bend. So ideally what we want to do is inhale our arms up, and then moving from the hips, we try and go down as far as we can, keeping a long back. When we can't go any further, that's when we bring the hands down, bending the knees if we need to. Bend the knees a lot. Either hold on to the backs of your ankles with your knees really, really, really bent, or if you can, hold on underneath the heels. Whichever way, it doesn't matter because it's still going to be the same exercise. So we've got nice bent legs, we're letting the head fall down, a nice curve in the spine, but we're basically supporting our upper body with our lower body because our belly is laying on our thighs. So it doesn't matter whether you're holding your calves, your ankles or your heels, we're still doing exactly the same. Really let the head hang heavy. And if you feel like you have a bit more space in the posture, then just gradually take your hips up towards the ceiling, trying to straighten the legs a little. Even if it's just 1 millimeter. Reaching the head down towards the floor, curling the elbows round behind the legs. Or just staying in your squatting position. Still a nice stretch for the back here. You should feel the lower back and the middle back just opening up slightly. And then gently, with really bent legs, bringing your hands to the floor, come up into a halfway lift. And then let the head hang, bend the knees a lot and roll the spine all the way back up to the top. Maybe have a roll of the shoulders, couple of breaths just to get your equilibrium back. And then we'll do a back bend. So we would have gone side to side, twisting left, twisting right, forward bends. The last thing our spine is capable of is a back bend. So there's lots of different ways to do this. You can either bring your hands to the lower back with the fingers pointing down and the thumbs on the outside, and literally open the chest towards the ceiling, look up, tuck the tailbone under, and maybe do a little bit of a back bend. If back bends are in your practice and you want to do more, you can either hold your elbows and go over your elbows. You could come into reverse prayer, so you're really opening the chest up and do a back bend in reverse prayer. Or you can bring your arms up above your head and do a full back bend. It's up to you. But whichever you do, pull the core in and feel a little bit of space in the lower back. So we're lifting up and over the lower back, not just dumping into it. There's strength in our back bend. Pull the core in and come back up to center. Excellent, well done. Okay, coming to the tops of the mats, let's do a little flow. So really ground down through the feet. Inhale the arms up and come down into chair. So taking the hips back, you should still be able to see your toes in front of your knees. Nice big inhale here. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Another big inhale. Then exhale, twist round towards the left and hook the elbow over the knee. Check back in with the knees, make sure that they're still in line with one another. If it's in your practice and you want to go further, you can open the arms or you can stay here in prayer. It's entirely up to you. Couple of breaths here. If you have your arms open, bring the hands back together. Really push through the feet. Inhale, come up through center. And then exhale, go to the other side. And then take your preferred arm position. Either arms open or stay in prayer. Check in with the knees, make sure they're still in line. Couple more breaths here. Then if you have your arms open, bring the hands back together. Take a nice big inhale, press through the feet, and as you exhale, come up to center and stretch it all the way up to the top. Nice big inhale at the top, and then exhale, fold all the way forward, bend the knees and bring the hands down towards the mat. Step back with the left leg, step back with the right leg, drop the knees down towards the floor. Then bending the elbows, keeping them close to the body, take the chest and the chin to the floor, and then scoot forwards into cobra. Really thinking about stretching the chest forward, pulling the core in, pressing down through the tops of the feet. Exhale, come down, tuck the toes, take the hips back towards your heels. One breath here in child's. And on your next inhale, push up into downward facing dog. It's our first dog of the day, so let's have a little walk through our heels, maybe taking one heel to the floor, then the other heel to the floor. Wiggling or jiggling your dog wherever you need to. Maybe taking the chest towards the thighs or bending the knees more. Maybe pressing through the hands, wrapping the shoulders. Wherever you need to move, have a little wiggle. Then looking forwards, have a little step up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, forward fold, bend the knees. Take the right leg back first this time, and then the left leg. Then take the knees to the floor, then take the chest and the chin to the floor. Wiggle yourself forward into your cobra, and let's have a couple of breaths here in cobra. So really pressing down through the tops of the feet, stretching the chest forwards. A little bit of pressure in the hands. Trying to find some space in the lower back. Exhale, come down to the mat, tuck the toes, push yourself back into your little child's pose. Inhale here, exhale here, relax everything. Then inhale, push up into your downward facing dog. Couple of breaths in dog, really pressing through the fingertips as well as the palms. Spreading those fingers wide. Engaging the shoulders, pulling the belly muscles in. Then looking forward, have a little wander or a step or a jump or a hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, bending the knees. Inhale, all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Good. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step back with the left leg. Maybe wiggle the front foot forward slightly. So your front knee's above your ankle. Staying on the toes with the back foot to start with. Inhale the arms up into crescent lunge. Staying here for a moment, just having a couple of breaths. Really grounding down through the feet, lengthening out through the back leg so you get a stretch in the hip flexor. Trying to keep the shoulders above the hips, relaxing the shoulders down the back, stretching up through the fingertips. Nice big inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the hands down to frame the front foot. And drop the back knee down to the ground. Grounding down through the left hand, and you can have the back foot tucked, toes tucked under or not, whatever's more comfortable. Inhale the arm up towards the ceiling, the right arm that is. If that's uncomfortable on your knee, you can always then step the knee back up again, up to you. Couple of breaths here. Really stretching up through those top fingertips. Really sinking down in the hips and really trying to lengthen the spine. Nice big inhale. And then exhale, windmill that hand back down to the mat. If you have the back knee raised, drop it down. And then we did this one last week for anybody that was on. Bring the right hand to the right knee, sink the hips forward, and just allow that knee to wing out, maybe coming onto the outside edge of the front foot. So just getting a stretch down the inner thigh muscle on the right leg. Couple of breaths here. Good. Then bring that knee back in, place the hand back down, and step the front foot back to plank. You can either come down and rest in child's pose or come through your vinyasa. So either knees, chest, chin, or take the weight forward and down through chaturanga, and then come into cobra or up dog. Really stretching that chest forward, trying to find an equal stretch down front and back of the body. Exhale back down, come back into child's pose. And if you were in child's pose, rejoin us. Tucking the toes, pushing up into downward facing dog. Taking as much bend in the knees as you need, but really keeping the back long. Looking forward, either step, jump or hop towards the front of the mat. Inhale a halfway lift, and then exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees a lot. Inhale all the way up to the top. Exhale, hands back to heart center. Excellent. Inhale the arms up. Let's do the other side. And then exhale, bend the knees, come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, long back, long neck. Exhale, forward fold. This time, take the right leg back. So we stay on the toes, make sure the front knee's above the ankle, and then inhale the arms up into crescent lunge. Sinking down through the hips, straightening out through the back leg, letting the shoulder blades relax down the back, but stretching up through the fingertips. Trying to make sure we're not flaring the ribs out, so keep the ribs above the pelvis, and so your shoulders, ribs, pelvis are all in one line. Really pulling the inner thighs towards one another, pulling the core in. Inhale up through the fingertips, and then exhale, bring the hands down to frame the front foot and drop the back knee. So moving into the twist, this time keeping our right hand on the floor and then opening our left arm up towards the ceiling. If it's uncomfortable on your back knee, then raise your back knee. Really sinking those hips down, extending through the spine and then twisting up towards the ceiling. Your gaze can either be looking up towards the ceiling or down towards the mat, whatever is most comfortable on your neck. Couple more breaths here. Inhale to really stretch into the edges of this pose. And then exhale, windmill the hand back down to the mat. And if you have the back knee raised, drop it down. Bring the left hand to the left knee. And this time, wing the left knee out, coming onto the outside edge of the front foot. Let the hips drop down. Back knee can either be tucked up or under, and again, any pain in the knee, you can always raise it off the mat. Couple of breaths here. Then bring the knee back to center. Place both hands on the mat. Raise the back leg and then step the front foot back so we're back into our plank. If you need a rest, come into child's pose here, or take your preferred vinyasa, either knees, chest, chin, cobra, or come down through chaturanga and then into upward facing dog. Whichever you've chosen, either concentrate on the breath in child's pose, or in cobra and up dog, stretch the chest forward, engage the core, engage the legs so you have space in the lower back. Coming back down to the mat. Take the hips back towards the heels and have a breath in child's pose. Then pushing up from child's pose into tabletop. So hands are just slightly forward of the shoulders and knees are underneath the hips. Taking a nice big inhale here, let the tummy come down, take the sit bones up towards the ceiling and look up. As you exhale, curl through the spine, tuck the tailbone under, drop the head. So we're inhaling as we move the body down, really pushing the floor away as we look up, and then we're exhaling, really curling the spine, curling the tailbone under, dropping the head, pulling the belly in. Inhale as we come down. Exhale as we go up. 3 more with your own breath. And once you've finished those 3 rounds, just come back to neutral. Take a nice big inhale at center. And then exhale, look around towards one hip, making a C shape with your spine. Then inhale back to center and exhale around to the other side, making a C shape with your spine. Inhale through center, look one way. Inhale through center, look the other way. One more each side. Inhale through center, exhale, curve. Inhale through center, exhale, curve. Come back to center and come down onto your elbows. So we're trying to get our chest close to the floor. So if this is in your practice, keep your elbows on the floor and just gently take your chest towards the floor. If you know that you can go deeper, walk the hands forward slightly, take the chest deeper. If you can bring your forehead to the floor, feel free to do that. If you can bring your chin to the floor, feel free to do that. And if your chin's on the floor, you can walk your fingers further and lift the elbows. Lots of options, so do what suits your body best this evening. Really think about melting that chest into the floor. And gradually use your arms and your elbows to push yourself back. And staying on our elbows, we're going to join the fingers together. So coming into dolphin pose. So tuck the toes, elbows and forearms on the floor, fingers clasped. Just push through the toes and lift the knees up off the floor. So it's like a down dog, but on our elbows. Knees can be bent. Think about really pushing the floor away with the elbows, really engaging through the shoulders and trying to make the back nice and long. Take a nice big inhale here. And then as you exhale, do lion's breath and really stick your tongue out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, lion's breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, lion's breath. Excellent, well done. Drop the knees back down. Untuck the toes and take the hips back towards the heels, coming into child's pose. This time, take the hands around by the feet and completely relax the shoulders. Nice big inhale here. And then exhale, try and relax everything into the floor. Then pulling on the heels, curl up through the spine, bone by bone by bone, with the head coming up last. Then come up onto your knees. Your knees want to be directly underneath your hips. They can be a little bit wider, but if you take them a little bit wider, make sure that your toes are slightly closer together. Coming into camel. So really tuck the tailbone under and keep the hips forwards. Hands on the base of the spine like we did earlier, and you have the same options as earlier. Either fingers down with the thumbs on the outside, or you can hold elbow to elbow and go over the elbows. You can do reverse prayer if that's in your practice, or you can go into camel. We're not going to do the one with the arms above our heads because that makes us dump into our lower back in camel, and that's not good. But if you do have a strong back bend, you can come back and eventually reach for your feet. But only do that if you can keep your hips forward. If your hips are coming back here, then you're not ready to go for your feet yet. So be kind to yourself, whatever you choose. So put your hands wherever you feel you want them today. Take a nice big inhale. And then pull the tummy muscles in so that your core is supported. Look up towards the ceiling, open the chest towards the ceiling, and then let the breath continue as you slowly move back into your back bend. However deep or shallow that is, work with what your body is happy to do today. And if it doesn't feel like going any further, then don't push it to go any further. Really keep breathing into the upper chest, opening the chest, really squeezing the bum muscles so that your lower back is supported. 2 more breaths here. And very slowly, support your lower back, pull the tummy muscles in, and gently come up. And then sit the heels, the bum down to your heels. Camels are really deep back bend, so it can sometimes make us feel a bit wobbly. So just be kind to yourself. Have a couple of breaths. You can either stay seated, or if you want to come forward into child's pose, and have a couple of breaths in child's pose. But just move really mindfully, because we've just done a really big back bend. Whether you decide to stay seated or in child's pose, we're all going to come back up to seated. So just use your hands to walk your way back up to seated. Then come up on the knees and come towards the back of your mat. Walk your hands forwards, allowing your hips to come down to the mat and essentially come down so you're laid on your tummy. So a little spine strengthening series, which is really good for keeping the spine healthy and free from pain. So the first one is Sphinx, bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders. Allow the legs to be really, really relaxed. Press the toes into the floor, but not so your knees pop off. Keep your legs relaxed. Your head can either be relaxed or up straight, but never ever crunched. Really press down through the fingers, press down through the palms. And then as you feel your elbows moving back towards your feet, stretch your chest between your arms so that you feel the stretch down the front of the body. Then really, really press the pubic bone into the mat and notice how that gives you space in your lower back. Couple of breaths here, really extending that chest forward, pulling those elbows back. Then we'll take our elbows in front of us, one hand on top of the other, forehead resting on those hands. This is called crocodile pose. So just have a moment's rest in crocodile pose. Take a few breaths, maybe wobble the hips from side to side. Then take the hands underneath the shoulders. This time we are going to engage our legs. So really make the legs strong, tuck the tailbone under, really press down through the tops of the feet onto the ground, and then curl the spine up. The idea of this pose is that we're using our back muscles. So if you took your hands off the floor, you'd remain in the same place. Taking a few breaths here, really pulling the core muscles in tightly all the way around the front and all the way around the back. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, even feel the muscles down the sides. Press those toes into the floor. One more breath. And then exhale, come back down, one hand on top of the other, forehead on the hands, and have a couple of breaths, rest in crocodile pose. Maybe wiggling the hips from side to side again. Okay, this time, keeping the head on the hands, bend the knees so the feet go up towards the ceiling. Take a nice big inhale. And on the exhale, take both feet up towards the ceiling so the knees come off the floor. Really focusing on squeezing the lower back and using those lower back muscles to lift those knees up. Keep breathing, keep the core pulled in, really squeeze a little bit higher, and then exhale, bring them down and have a couple of breaths rest. Then take both arms out from your shoulders. Engage all the muscles of your arms. Engage all the muscles of your legs. Take a nice big inhale, pull the core in, and on the exhale, lift all four limbs up off the floor. Really keeping the muscles tight helps you to lift the limbs. Really focusing on pulling the core in, using those back muscles, lift up a little bit higher. Another breath, and then exhale, come back down, one hand on top of the other, forehead on the top of your hands, couple of breaths rest in crocodile pose. For the next one, take both hands out in front of you. Similar to the last one, we want to strengthen all of our arm muscles and we want to engage all of our leg muscles. But this time we're going to lift opposites, keeping the neck nice and long. You can keep the head on the floor if that's more comfortable. Lift the left arm and right leg. And then exhale it back down. Then inhale the other arm and leg. Exhale it down. So we're doing opposites. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Excellent. Then come back into your crocodile pose for a couple of restful breaths. Bringing the head up, bring the elbow and the forearm so that it is parallel to the front of the mat, and then bend the right leg up and reach around with the right hand towards the right leg. If you can't reach the right leg, just move in that direction. Take a nice big inhale and lift the arm and the leg up off the floor. So if you're in the bind, you can kick with your leg to make the pose deeper. If you're stretching in that direction, just concentrate on reaching through the fingertips and trying to get the knee up. One more breath here, and then exhale it down and we'll switch to the other side. So replace the elbow at the front, take the left hand round towards the back, bend the left leg up. If you can grasp, great. Otherwise, just reach the fingers back, lift the knee up. If you've got the bind, use the leg to kick so you increase the back bend. Then bring that back down. Bring one hand on top of the other, forehead on top. Have a little wiggle through the hips and a couple of breaths in crocodile pose. Then bring your head up, place the hands underneath the shoulders and press yourself back up towards child's pose and then all the way up into downward facing dog. If you have any problems with your knees or your hips, you're going to come to the middle of your mat, sit down with one leg out in front of you and then cradle the other knee, hold the ankle and give the middle leg a rock from side to side. If your knees and your hips are all happy and healthy, we're going to float the left leg up towards the ceiling and then bring it forwards into pigeon pose. Really allowing the foot to land where it feels comfortable, trying to relax so that we can sink into this pose, keeping the hips facing forwards. If you need to tuck the toes of the back leg to make it more comfortable on your knee, then you can. And if you want to bend the back leg and do a bind, equally you can do that too. Depends what's in your practice and what you feel like doing today. Couple of breaths here. And if you're binding, release it. Place the hands back down on the mat. Tuck the back toes and press the knee away from the floor. And then step your way back into downward facing dog and have a little wiggle. If you're sat on the floor with one leg out in front and the other leg being rocked, then switch legs. And if you're in downward dog, then float the right leg up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, pull it through and come into pigeon on the other side. Again, keeping those hips forwards, keeping the shoulders and the chest open, and then taking your preferred position with the back leg. It can either be flat on the floor, tuck the toes if that's uncomfortable on your knee, or you can bend it up and reach around with the same hand for a bind. You may feel that gives you a really big stretch down the quad, down the front of the leg. Couple more breaths here. Then releasing the leg if you're in the bind. Tuck the toes, place the hands down on the mat, lift the back knee, and then step your way back to your downward facing dog. So from downward facing dog, for those that are there, we're going to jump and cross our feet halfway along the mat, pop our bums down on the mat, and bring our legs out in front of us. If you're sat sideways on your mat doing your cradle, then stop your cradle and take your feet down towards the bottom of the mat. Really ground down through the sit bones. So make sure that you can really feel the floor under your bum. Really engage the legs, flex the feet. Inhale the arms up at shoulder height, keeping those legs engaged. Take a nice big inhale and then exhale, go forward as far as your body will allow, and then let the hands come down and let them land wherever they land. Nice big inhale here, and then exhale, just roll forward over your legs. Keeping the legs engaged, letting the top half of your body be soft. Inhale really deep into the tummy. And then exhale, try and relax into the pose. Inhale, exhale, relax. Inhale really deep into the body. Exhale, relax. And then as you inhale, gradually roll the spine all the way back up again. Inhale, the arms up above our heads. Exhale, twist around towards the right. Trying to keep the back nice and long, looking out over the right shoulder. Inhale up through center. Exhale, twist around towards the left. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist one way. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist the other way. Inhale, arms up. And then exhale, bring the hands down onto your thighs. And then very, very gently roll all the way back down onto your mat and let your arms come down by your sides. Bring the feet up. We'll just do a few movements into bridge with the arms as well. So as we inhale, we curl the spine up into bridge, bringing the arms up above our heads. And then as we exhale, we roll the spine bone by bone back down to the mat, bring the arms back down by the sides. Inhale as we raise up into bridge, bringing the arms up. Exhale as you come down. Tailbone touching down last. Inhale as we go up. Exhale as we come down. 3 more. Inhale as you go up. Really squeezing those hips up as you get to the top. And then exhale, come down. Rolling the spine down. Inhale as you go up. Squeezing at the top. Exhale, come down. Last one. Inhale as we go up. Exhale, come down. Okay, take the arms straight out from the shoulders. They can be palm up or palm down, whatever feels more comfortable. Lift the hips up, scoot them over towards the right and place them back down again. Hug the knees in towards your chest and then roll the knees over towards the left, looking out over your right shoulder. Really big inhale here. And then exhale, let everything release and relax onto the mat. Really big inhale deep into the body. Exhale, completely release and relax. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, completely relax onto the mat. On the next inhale, from the head to center. On the exhale, pull the core in and roll the hips back down onto the mat. Put the feet down, straighten yourself back up again, and then lift the hips up, scoot them over to the left this time, and hop them down. Then hug the knees in and roll the knees over towards the right, looking out over the left shoulder. Nice big inhale, and then exhale, sigh the air out and relax. Inhale deep into the belly, and then exhale, let everything relax. One more big inhale. Exhale, completely relax. Then on the next inhale, bring the head back to center. And on the exhale, pull the core in tightly, roll the hips back onto the mat. Then put the feet down and straighten yourself up. And then do whatever pose your body feels like it might need this evening. Maybe you just want to stretch. Maybe you want to go straight into Savasana. Maybe you feel like doing a happy baby or a shoulder stand or a wheel or whatever else your body feels like it might want to do this evening. Couple of deep breaths here. And then let go of whatever pose you chose to do. Bring the feet down onto the mat and take the legs out long into Savasana. Letting the feet fall open. Let the arms come down by the sides, palms up. Tuck the shoulder blades under the body and make sure the lower spine is comfortable. Any problems in the lower back, bring the feet to the floor and let the knees roll in. Or bring the soles of the feet together and let the knees roll out. Gently close your eyes and just become aware of the breath. Noticing the quality of the breath. Noticing the length of the breath. Notice if the inhale matches the exhale for length or whether one is longer than the other. Notice how you feel in your body. How you feel now you've completed your yoga practice. Whether there's any remaining areas of tension. And with your next breath, take a big inhale. And on the exhale, see if you can release those last little bits of tension. Focusing with every breath. How each exhale allows the body to be more and more relaxed. And gradually bring the awareness back to the body. Thinking about moving. Maybe just scraping your thumb over each of your fingertips. Maybe rolling the head from side to side. Maybe fluttering your eyes open. Move in whichever way your body wants to move this evening. And then when you're ready, and there is no rush at all, roll over onto your side and come up to seated. thank you for taking the time to come and practice with me this evening. I hope you're moving better and breathing a little bit better. And I hope above all that you enjoyed it.